This is the first lecture for Chapter 2, Asset Classes and Financial Instruments. The asset classes are broken down into three classes. We have fixed income, equity, and derivatives. Fixed income is broken down separated between money markets and capital markets. Money markets being the first subsector of the fixed income market. The money market instruments are short-term. The definition of money market is typically 1 year or less. Capital markets includes anything over 1 year. Money market instruments are typically very liquid. In many cases, they are traded on the open market. The most liquid being U.S. Treasury bills that we'll talk about in a second. They are also very, very low risk. Most the participants in money market are issuers, and money market debt are very, very high grade issuers. Again, U.S. Treasury being the highest, but other issuers, very highly rated corporations and so forth, other governments as well. These securities often have very large denominations. This is an institutional market for the most part. The vast majority of the participants are dealing with very large sums of money. So as a result, the denominations can be very, very large. Treasury bills are issued by the federal government, U.S. government. Denominations are commonly $10,000 with increments of 1,000. Maturities can be 4, 13, 26, or 52 weeks. Again, liquidity is very, very high. The cost of trading Treasury bills is very, very low. You can trade them with a dealer at a very low cost. You can also buy and sell them on treasury.gov as well. Again, very, very low costs associated with trading those securities. Default risk, effectively zero, because the thinking is if the U.S. government defaults, we've got a whole lot bigger problems in the world than the fact that the U.S. government has defaulted on Treasury bills. Interest type is discount, meaning that U.S. Treasury is issued with a face value and sold at a price below the face value, meaning you pay less, and the difference, your interest earnings are the difference between the face value and what you paid for that security. Taxation. The Treasury bills are taxable, or interest on Treasury bills are taxable on a federal basis. They are exempt from state and local taxes, meaning that if you live in a state that has income taxes on a state and local basis, that interest income on Treasury bills is exempt from those taxes. Figure 2.1 is a Treasury bill listing. It's actually a small piece of what you would see if you were looking in the Wall Street Journal. This example is from April of 2017. We have a June 8th maturity with 51 days to maturity on down to March 29th of 2018 maturity of 345 days. Those are the days to maturity, meaning that's how in 51 days, if you purchased it today, you would receive your money back. The face value of that security in 51 days, or in this example on June 8th, if you purchase it on April 18th. If the bid represents what a dealer, the discount rate at which the dealer is willing to buy the security, the ask represents a discount rate at which the dealer is willing to sell the security. The change is just the change in price for that day. The ask yield is as the book would call it, the bond equivalent yield. also refer to it just as simply as the yield or yield to maturity. So we're going to go through these calculations in this chapter. But so if we just go for, by example, the October 12th, 2017 maturity is going to mature in 177 days. The discount rate is 0.905 or 0.905% or 0.9% basically. The ask is 0.895. Not really concerned with the change. And then the ask yield or yield to maturity, again, bond equivalent yield as well, 0.911 or 0.91%. So calculations, we can calculate the bank discount rate on a Treasury bill by taking the RBD is the bank discount rate. The F refers to face value, P refers to the price of the security, and N refers to the number of days. So the face value is also referred to as par. I use F instead of P here and use P for price. So face minus price divided by face times 360 divided by N, or the number of days to maturity. So this is also a difference in the way T-bills are calculated. The calculations are based on a actual 360-day basis. So N is the actual number of days, and then 360 is the assumed number of days in a year. So it does affect the calculations. So example down below here, we've got a 90-day T-bill with a price of $9,875 and a $10,000 face value. So the bank discount rate is $10,000 divided by $9,875 divided by $10,000 times the 360 divided by N, or 90 days, and that is equal to 0.05 or 5%. We can also calculate the T-bill price. P in this case is equal to 1 minus the bank discount rate times the number of days to maturity divided by 360, and we multiply that by the face value. So if we go down to the example here, we have the same 90-day T-bill with a 5% discount rate or bank discount rate, and the face value is $10,000. So the price is 1 minus 0.05 times N, which is 90, divided by 360, multiplied by the face value of $10,000, and we get $9,875 for the value of that T-bill.